Hey everybody, this is David coming to you today from the University of the Azores in Ponta Delgada in the island of the Azores, which is a self-governing municipality in Portugal. And this is an island chain that's about, I don't know, 200-300 miles, I believe. 200-300 miles off the coast of Western Europe. And so I'm just thrilled to be able to welcome you to MSOM 602, Servant Leadership. And for many of you, you're just finishing up MSOM 601, Problem Solving and Critical Thinking, and you've decided to continue on over the summer. And I really like summer classes, and the reason I like summer classes, they're naturally very small, and so I can participate in the discussion boards with you and have a much more robust, if you will, learning experience. So welcome to Servant Leadership. And this is one, I probably say this about all the courses that I teach, but this is one of my favorite courses that I teach because it's so meaningful and so needed today. So again, welcome to Servant Leadership. The readings from this book, I think I have 6 books in this course that I'm using. There is a main book that I'm using, and it's written by Ken Blanchard. And Ken Blanchard, you'll probably recognize his name from The 1 Minute Manager and from a few other books. But Ken Blanchard has written several different things. He's a really great individual, a fantastic Christian background. He has a school of business named after him at Grand Canyon University in Arizona, and I just really like his writing, his thought process, and I use his book, Leading at a Higher Level, as really the foundation book for this course. So we're going to spend a lot of time in that book, and so if you want to get a real head start on this one, I just read that book from cover to cover because we're going to go back into it over the course of several lessons. Okay, and so that's the lead book in this course. Most of the time I go through these in the welcome videos and give you a little tips on how to navigate the course and all those things, but all of you should be experienced e-college online folks now. So just know that if you do have any questions about any of those things, to reach out and chat with me, and we can connect on those as well. The course, this particular class begins on May the 9th, and the course will be open on May the 2nd, so you'll be able to get in the course, play around a little bit if you like, and that'll be the week between the end of Spring 2 and the beginning of Summer 1 for those of you who are continuing on from the spring. But Lesson 1, let's talk a little bit about Lesson 1. Lesson 1 is going to be a really a foundation type lesson for you to begin to think about leadership and your leadership point of view and how you see leadership. And I have a couple of videos there in Lesson 1. Most of the time I only have one video, but in this one I'm starting off with a couple just because they're both really good. One is a video by a gentleman named Drew Dudley called Lollipop Moments, and that will challenge the way that perhaps you think about leadership. And then the other one is by a gentleman by the name of Bob Davids that talks about leading without ego. And both of those videos, I believe, will help you develop and help you understand the foundation by which you look at leadership. Because that is an important step for you to understand what you think and how you view leadership before we put that word servant in front of us. Because again, all of us have a particular bias on what we think leadership is about. And so it's important in Lesson 1 for you to be able to look at that. So the Discussion 1 question is an introduction. Chances are you'll be able to use the one you used last time, but again, don't shortchange those. I think I mentioned to you in the last class that there's actually been someone that got hired based upon the introduction that they gave in one of these classes. Discussion 2 talks about your definition of leadership after watching those videos. So make sure that you're in depth with those, and make sure that if you're using the 2 videos, make sure that you properly cite those or cite any of the additional sources that you use from the CSU Online Library. Yes, I'm going to say that every week. Make sure you use peer-reviewed research from the CSU Online Library as you begin to talk on the discussion boards about leadership. The first application, as I mentioned in the last class, every course that I teach, you start off in week 1 with a personal application and a personal assessment. And so this is a very brief quiz that you will go out and take that will be a servant leadership assessment. And it will tell you what type of servant leader you are. Now, the only benefit that you're going to get from this is if you're honest with yourself in answering those questions. Don't answer the questions by the way that you hope that you will be. Answer them by the way that you really are right now. Because the assessment is a benefit for you. It's not a benefit for me. It's just a way for you to go out and see what type of servant leader you are. And the basis for the different levels of servant leadership here are taken from a gentleman by the name of Larry Spears, who you're going to read about in this course, who developed 10 servant leadership characteristics. And we're going to talk about those in depth as we go through the course. So he has, and he prescribes that there are 10 different types of leadership characteristics that servant leaders need to develop and need to exhibit. And so what you're going to do is take this assessment, and at the end of that assessment, it's going to tell you what type of servant leader you are. Now, the home page that I'm sending you to also has the categorizations of those servant leaders at the bottom. So if you go through and you take the assessment and you get to the end, you're going to have to go back to that home page and scroll down to the bottom to see where you fit into that servant leadership assessment. Okay? And so that is application 1. So lesson 1, pretty simple. Give an introduction. Remember, all the discussion boards have to have your initial post by Friday of that week. You have to have a minimum of 2 response posts. And then discussion 2 will be about your definitions of leadership after watching the Bob Davids video and the Lollipop Moments Drew Dudley video as well. Okay? And then the application in the first week is take that assessment and then write a paper about that assessment that you'll send in to me. Be honest with yourself on that one as well. Okay? As I mentioned, classes begin on the 9th of May, and you'll be able to view the class on May the 2nd. I'm thrilled that you're back in over the summer. I am going to be doing a heck of a lot of traveling here, so you're going to be able to see me in quite a few locations over the next few weeks. We'll be here in the Azores, and we'll be in Lisbon, Portugal, several spots in Spain, and then we'll head up to the Baltics and end up in the Scandinavian countries, and then over in St. Petersburg in the Russian Republic. And so hopefully I'll be able to shoot some videos from those locations. All right? If you need me, bounce me a quick email. As I mentioned to you who are coming over from the last class, the internet on the ship has been fantastic, so should have absolutely no problem communicating with you. If we need to talk on the phone, bounce me an email. We can arrange a time to do that as well. All right? Have a great week, and look forward to starting this class. My finger's coming at the screen, so watch out. Talk to you soon.